Hello.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Liliha.
Yeah, the allergy.
I don't know.
Yeah, me too.
Haven't seen him yet. Haven't seen him yet. All right.
Let's just sign it then.
Oh, sign it. Okay. Alan or? Oh, okay, okay.
I walked into this room and all of a sudden my nose is starting. Actually,
Yeah.
not the picture.
All right, good evening and welcome to Neighborhood Board 14. Just a couple of administrative announcements. First of all, turn off your cell phones, and if you want to be recognized, please raise your hand, especially those on WebEx. Let's see. First of all, let's have a roll call.
Okay. Cantrell,
Here.
Christian, Cherfon, Higa, Paapu, Kuo,
Here.
McPherson, Magawai,
Here.
Mitsuda, not here yet, Ota, Nita, Valdez, not here yet, Yamamoto.
Present.
Okay, 11 members present.
Okay, so before we begin, I'd like to introduce a few distinguished individuals who joined us. First of all, the chair of our neighborhood commission, Patrick Smith. He will be speaking to us for 5 minutes. And also on the other side of the freeway, the chair of neighborhood board number 13, Ernest Carvalho. Just raise your hand. There you go. All right. Welcome, guys. All right. So first off, let's have a report by the Honolulu Fire Department. They're always in force. So I'm really impressed. Yeah.
Aloha all. Thank you for this opportunity to speak here tonight and share these statistics with the public. We have no information previously requested. I've got incident statistics for February 2026. Fires. We had 0 structure fires, 0 wildland and brush, 1 nuisance, 1 cooking, and 6 activated alarms with no fire. For emergencies, we had 81 medicals, motor vehicle collision with pedestrian 0, motor vehicle collision crash 0, mountain rescues 0, ocean rescues 0, hazardous materials incidents 0. Nuisance fire includes rubbish fires outside a structure or vehicle. I've got fire safety tips and announcements. Fire safety tip, smoke alarms. Smoke alarms save lives and are an important part of a home fire escape plan. Properly installed and maintained smoke alarms give occupants early warning to get outside quickly. Smoke alarms should be installed in every bedroom, outside each separate sleeping area like a hallway, and on each level of the home. Test smoke alarms at least once a month by pushing the test button, and replace all smoke alarms when they are 10 years old or stop responding when tested. The statistics provided above represent confirmed number of incidents in the NHP's geographical area for the previous month. For more details on the incidents and related mapping information, please visit the Fire Response Search tool on our HFD website at fire.honolulu.gov under the News and Info tab. Should you have any questions, please email hfdnhb@honolulu.gov or call 253-579-9246. Do I have any questions at this time?
Any questions from the board? Just one comment. Boy, it must have been a real boring month, huh?
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
Any questions from the board? You did a great job at 000. All right. Any questions from the audience? How about WebEx? Not. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Okay. HPD, are you there? I see Sergeant Kato.
Hello, this is Sergeant Kato, HPD District 5. Okay, for the month of February, we had 2 auto thefts. Burglaries were 5. Robberies, we had 1. 6 assaults, there was 2. Regular assaults, 1. Thefts were 11, and auto break-ins was 6. Total calls of service was 1,197. And the safety tip for this month is for the upcoming inclement weather coming up next week. We're giving out some tips for the for driving. So first off, if you can't avoid driving, you should avoid it. But if you have to, you should turn on your low beams for visibility. Of course, reduce your speed control. That should help with your traction. Try to avoid standing water in the areas that are flooded 12 inches or more. Your vehicles can get swept away. Hydroplaning, if you feel that your vehicle is starting to lose control, you always want to turn your wheels into the desired direction that you're trying to and ease off the gas that you're wanting to go when you feel you're hydroplaning. Make sure your tires are properly, you have proper tread, your wipers are good. And last thing is you try to avoid the outside lanes where the waters tend to pool, especially on the freeways where you're traveling at a higher speed and you tend to hydroplane even more. Pending your questions, that's all I have.
Okay, before I ask for questions, well, you had a slow month too, right? Valley. Is it because probably the weather was bad? Is that it? Nobody wants some bad things and bad weather?
It did, calls for service did drop from 1237 in January to 1197, so a slight dip. Yeah.
Oh, well, you guys did a great job. Any questions? Donald?
I have a request for Kapalama and Hala. I need to have more surveillance about 4:30 to about 6:30. And the question I also have is on the so-called crime mapping, there is a lot of so-called license plates being stolen. Is that the rear license plate where the sticker is at?
Usually in my experience, they're stealing the front ones. But also for you to follow up with your question, 4:30 to 6:30, is that like speeding or is that parking?
No, it's speeding.
Speeding? Okay.
Everybody thinks because you're stopping at the stop sign and then you're going up the hill, I mean, you can wind your first gear or your low gear. The reason I ask for more surveillance because if someone comes out from Condeo Street, I don't think that guy can stop in time. And the thing is that if he hits the car, it's going to be on the driver's door. And that's pretty dangerous. So if we can have more surveillance at that time and cut down on the speeding, I think for the community, it would be a safer place. And the one you're saying that the front license plate is being sold and not the back rear license plate?
Yeah, in my experience, that's what they do.
Oh.
Any other questions? And by the way, we want to thank Donald. After how many mayors? We finally got four-way stop at the Kapalama and Hala. Yeah, well, hey, and I noticed that they are stopping. I do, no. So thanks.
Right turn as you're coming down the hill.
Well, so you're watching me, all right? Yeah, all right. Well, we're not all perfect, Don, but we're trying. Anyway, any other questions from the board? Yes, Lloyd.
Chair. Thank you. Good evening, Sergeant Kato. Hello. I'd like to, I guess, ask again. I know Makini all the way up to Punawai. This is on the Diamond Head side. The reason I'm asking is that there are people just think that they can just park blocking the improved sidewalk without consequences. And I pass by there almost like 5 times a day. And of the 5 times, I wish I could say that since the last time I brought it up, things has improved, but it's more or less stay the same. In fact, one might have gotten worse. Like maybe if I pass through 5 times, I would see half the time there's people trying to at various 3 particular spots that people are just pulling in and just parking there, thinking that there's no consequences. But I believe that, you know, that road, DOT actually does a traffic count of that area, I think on annual basis. And if I recall correct, 2,000 to 3,000 cars pass through that stretch of road. So it affects all those drivers and all the people walking up and down, whether coming off from bus station after work, going to school. A lot of times these kids with the parents, and the parents have stroller with even, you know, younger kids. Because of these park cars, they got to kind of dodge around, and then everybody got to kind of fight, you know, risk getting, you know, miss or trying to gauge the oncoming traffic, just dodging them. So we would really appreciate it if the officers, I understand there's probably not the highest priority, but throughout the shift, if there's resources available, please ask if the patrol officers could swing by. And if they see something, please just, you know, educate the drivers or, you know, cite them.
Okay,
Okay,
so
thank you very
that
much.
was about 2 o'clock around when school gets out,
It's pretty much throughout the whole day, even at
throughout the
night.
daytime.
Yeah,
Okay, and I'm sorry,
all hours.
you kind of got cut out with the location. I only caught Kunawai.
This is
What-
Nalakila Ave, the
Lana-
block between Kunawai and Kuakini.
Okay,
Good evening, sir. Yeah, our officers have been monitoring the area, but it would be a great help if you see violations occurring throughout the day. It'd be a great assistance to us if you could give us a call. Don't feel like you're going to be a bother or anything like that. Just give us a call, give us a heads up so we can have an officer come out there and address the situation, because our officers are making checks, but I guess when they are making the checks, maybe the vehicles are not parked illegally on the unimproved sidewalks. So that'd be a great assistance to us if you could give us a ring. Call 911 on emergency. There's a illegally parked vehicle on an unimproved sidewalk on Lanakila Avenue between Kuakini and Punawai, and the officers know exactly which one that is. It's going Malkabound. It's going to be on the Cocoa Head side, correct?
Yes, upbound.
Thank you,
Yes.
Lieutenant. Appreciate
Yeah,
that.
so
Any
we'd
other questions?
appreciate if you could give us a call.
Oh, yeah.
May
Any,
I ask
any other
if
questions
it's,
for the board? I'm sorry, are you finished, Loy?
may I ask in lieu of a call, maybe there's a number I can text pictures, you know, oftentimes I can just, you know, take a picture and maybe text it.
Lieutenant?
Well, the easiest way would just to be called 911, and our officers could respond directly right there.
Okay, thank you.
Is there any reason why you would not want to call? Oh, okay.
Okay. Anybody else on the board? Any questions, comments? How about from the audience? How about WebEx? Okay, if not, Lieutenant, Sergeant, thank you very much. Next, Iris.
Thank you. Have a good night.
I guess we'd have to worry about turning off our water anymore, right?
Saving
Yeah.
water, conserving, very
Yeah.
important. Yeah. So hopefully my announcement is quick tonight. There was 2 main breaks in the month of February, on the 9th near 720 Panui Street, and on the 27th near 2374 Mauliola Place. Okay, and my one quick announcement, it's on March 22nd. There's a World Water Day. It's our annual United Nations observance to raise awareness of about 2.2 billion people living without water, access to safe water. So this year's theme is where water flows, equity grows. So why this matters? The global water crisis affects everyone, but women and girls often carry the burden when safe water sanitation is not available. So, did you know more than 1 billion women still lack access to safely managed drinking water? So this is going to be throughout March, excuse me, forgetting what month I'm in, throughout March, and especially on that March 22nd, check our social media pages and our boardofwatersupply.com/WWD for inspiring stories and videos about the global water crisis. And that was just my announcement.
Quick question. Why just women? What about the guys?
Well, they're just saying, according to this, it just says that it just happens to affect women and girls kind of more often. So.
Was that why? Well, you guys you gather the water and we drink it? Oh, yeah. That sounds fair.
But I watch some of these too, and maybe I'll see why, a little more specifically why. Yeah.
Questions from the board? Comments? Audience?
Basically.
WebEx? Thanks, Iris.
Thanks.
Okay. Resident concerns. I know there's somebody who would like to introduce herself and her organization.
Aloha, my name is Maribel Sierra and I am a resident of ʻAlewa Heights. I also work for Hawaii Public Health Institute and I wanted to introduce myself and share that we are working to expand free school meals for all students. Many students go hungry and are forced to skip meals and they struggle to learn. So we wanted to make sure that we're looking for the community to support our efforts. And if you would like to be involved, and have a story to share, I'll be around here. And thank you for your time. Mahalo.
Wait, any questions? Yes.
Maribel Sierra, Sierra. Sierra.
Any other questions on the board? How about the audience? No? WebEx? Oh, if not, thank you. Thank you. Any other resident concerns? Oh, yeah. Go ahead, Wallen.
Good evening, everybody. Sorry, sinuses. So I had two residents reach out to me, so I'm gonna kind of call out to Jenna Takinauchi or Carl Rose's office or Tyler's office, because I'm not sure who this is going to be aimed at. I have a young lady who lives on Kuakini Street, right across of Kuakini Hospital. And she reached out to me because she has a concern when she notices that there's a lot more homeless there. And she is right, because I live on Kuakini, so I do see more of that now. But the primary concern is that what happens is when they leave the hospital, unfortunately, these homeless people are escorted off onto the public sidewalk and left there. And so now these homeless people are sitting there because they really have nowhere else to go. And she's concerned about her safety because she is trying to walk her dog and she's not, I won't say she's elderly, but she's not young. And so, of course, any female will be concerned when they see a male homeless person. So if one of the offices can let me know what can be done, what I did suggest to her is to contact, and I could be incorrect, but I told her to contact Tyler's office because city and county, and to ask them what they can do with Kuakini Hospital to find out why they're just released off into the public sidewalk. Unfortunately, just yesterday I drove by and I saw an elderly homeless man sitting in a wheelchair with his scrubs on, because that's what they give you, right, the nightgown. And he literally did not look like he was going to make it. So why the hospital is releasing them like that, I have no idea. I used to do security at Queens Medical Center, so I know exactly what she's talking about. So that's one. And the second one, although he's not in my so-called district, I did take his call and I just got off the phone with him tonight. So he lives near Liliha Bakery and he is asking who can address this issue. You know those two parking stalls right in front of the bakery on, is that Kuakini at that point? What's happening is because there's two cars parked there, the traffic gets really backed up. And we all know what that does. So he's asking to find out if they could just do away with those two parking stalls so that it would alleviate traffic. Again, not sure who I draw this to. I'm assuming Department of Transportation, but I'd like to get some type of feedback so I can let these two residents know. Thank you.
Thanks. Edward, are you on board? Edward?
I'm online,
Edward?
Chair Fong.
You got those two?
I do have those two, and Kuakini Street, I can share with you that just last week we did meet with Kuakini Hospital about that concern, and we're actually going to work with them on a pilot program with our crisis outreach response and engagement team. We're trying to set that up right now, so Kuakini Hospital won't be discharging homeless to the street. So we are working on some kind of solution in that realm. The Liliha Bakery one is something that I can raise with Department of Transportation Services because that's going to be a city road.
Great, thank you.
Um,
Waylon, anything?
yeah, Edward, can you email me whatever information so I can kind of give them a gist of what's going on? Do you need my email?
I'll get it from Camelia.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yep.
Anybody else? Yes, go ahead, Chance.
Hi, Edward. I have one community concern from a neighbor. So there's the stream or canal between the 2164 Hillcrest Street and 2176 Hillcrest Street properties. So the city cleared the Kapalama Canal on the lower end on Alpuni Street. That area is all clear. It looks amazing now. However, the canal area between those two properties, 2164 and 2176 Hillcrest, they still remain overgrown to the point where it is touching the both neighbors' properties. So if DFM or somebody would be able to get out there to trim it, that's great. Thank you.
Okay,
Edward, you got that?
got it.
Okay, thanks. You can check with Chance if you need more information. Anybody else on the board? Concerns? Oh, Lloyd, go ahead.
Hello, Chair. If I may comment on one of the issues that was raised by Wallen, this is related to the parking on Kuakini Street, the two stall next to Liliha Bakery. If I recall correct, there is a post box over there, and I think a lot of people, including myself, occasionally drop off over there. I understand the sign up there is, yeah, there's a certain time period. So I would just ask that whatever decision is reached, take into consideration that I think it helps some people when they need to drop up the mail. Perhaps the hours can be changed. And I do at times when I drive there, I'm like, oh yeah, somebody's blocking there. And then it kind of slows my traffic down, but there's got to be a balance. And I think also if you take away that parking, it makes harder to cross the street too, because now you got to dodge 2 lanes of traffic or 4 lanes of traffic instead of just 2.
Okay, I think we got that covered. All right. Anybody else? Yeah.
Sorry, Edward. This one is for you again. Last one for me. So this is a follow-up to Loy's earlier concern regarding the unimproved sidewalk on Laniquila.
Sorry, it's improved.
It's improved.
I'm pretty sure it's improved. Yes. Okay. Years ago, we asked that they pave it, and they finally paved it.
They paved. Okay. Okay. So
It's
my
asphalt concrete, so it's improved.
Okay. Thank you. But my question is going to be, because I used to walk up the road up and down it back when I was going to school at Laniquila. So I'm curious, is that something that we might possibly be able to do, is get that sidewalk improved where it is concrete? And if not, or if even so, why hasn't it been done up until this point? I'm just curious. Thank you.
Anybody else?
Yeah, I have,
Go ahead, Donald.
on that parking on Kuakini Street, I think the parking allows you to park until 3:30. And after that, it's a tow-away zone. So that, to me, I visit that a lot because my barber is right across the street. And I don't want that place to say no parking, because over there, there's not too many parking area. You got meter parking, but it is always taken. So, I mean, if you start taking away parking, I mean, the Laniquila, that area would be very difficult for you to stop by or whatever. And I don't want to see no parking on that area. That's my
Okay.
comment.
Okay, well, it seems a little debate about taking away the parking or leaving the parking. Ed, you got both sides of the issue, okay? You can come back to
Okay.
us. All right. Audience, any questions, concerns? Yes. Ernest?
This is your public concerns, right? All right, so my name is Ernest Carval, Transparency. I'm the chair for Downtown Chinatown. I am running for State House District 28. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other concerns? Yes, go ahead.
Hello, my name is Kyle Sakamoto, and my mother Jean and I have come down here concerned about flooding at 2753 Punui Avenue. And I just wanted to thank Brandon Mitsuda and probably Edward for getting action done. Late last week, they actually cut down the vegetation that was creating flooding on our property. And I had video from like a couple of weeks ago that's really bad. The flooding, because it was clogged, the flooding ran right through our yard and stuff and kind of messed up our fake grass. But anyway, the problem was taken care of as far as them cutting down the vegetation, which was causing the backup. And we're just hoping that the city could be a little bit more preemptive next year and take care of it before the rainy season hits, because the last couple of years the flooding has really run through our yard. The water's gone into our garage as well, and we took measures to kind of alleviate some of the damage it would do to our fake grass because the water goes right through there. But we're just hoping that they can keep it up. And thank you to everyone who made that possible.
Well, I'm glad they did something. So if they don't, just come back to us or we can let us know. Give me a buzz.
Chair,
Okay,
can I,
Yes.
can I respond?
Oh, hey,
Sorry, I
Brendan.
snuck in. Mr. Sakamoto, we just wanted to thank you and your mother for coming down to the neighborhood board to let us know about that issue. And all credit goes to Edward, Deputy Director over at the city. You know, he was able to bring in everybody, the city, the state, the private, everyone, and they took a look at the issue and we'll continue to monitor it. And as the situation unfolds, we'll have Edward, the city, the state, and the private step up to help you. So thanks for coming to the meeting. I know it takes a lot for a community member to come all the way down and say your piece here and come here week after week, month after month. And we just appreciate you taking a part in this process.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brandon. Yes. Identify yourself.
Hello, everyone. My name is Michael Covenant Ratcliffe. I go by my middle name, Cove, and I'm one of the finalists for the House District 28 vacancy.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? All right, moving on. Oh, we got one more. Okay, go ahead. Yes.
Aloha Chair, members of the board and guests. My name is Nadia Alves. I am one of the 3 names that's been sent to the governor for fulfilling our vacancy here in District 28. And I'm also a candidate who is running to represent us in the House. Mahalo for your time.
Thank you, and good luck to all of your candidates. Okay, thank you for introducing yourselves. All right, moving on. I think that's it. Let's see, any reports of members attending other meetings that may be of interest to us? Yes, go ahead, Don.
I answered your email about the 29th District Representative, Mr. Hasse, who called a meeting on February 11th. It was very, I would say very inspiring because this is what he brought up. This is the budget he proposed and the funds he proposed to the state. And this is the first time I've seen this type of paper. Because she's on the 28th district. She never come out and say, oh, I proposed so many dollars for doing this and all that. So for me, my input was for Kapalama Heights on Hollow Drive. I request for them to remove and replace the sidewalks. Some of the sidewalks are cracking and all that. But the most important thing, and I want to share with you guys, I met this group of female girls, okay? They come from Farrington. And they proposed at Kuyu Park Terrace, they wanted to have a garden. And somehow they cannot have, no gardens. So Representative Hasse was supposed to find out. And I'm going to ask our senator, Kim to find out too, why can't they have a garden at Kuhio Park Terrace? But what was really inspiring is these young girls, two of them, when they asked, oh, who will be responsible to take care of the garden? Without any hesitation, they raised their hand and said, I will. I mean, this is very inspiring because, young kids, so-called Kali kids, all they know is vice and all that, but these girls stood up and said, I will take care of the garden. So I was very inspired about that because this is the first time I have seen young kids, teenagers, just step up and say, yes, I will. And that really enlightens me about the future of Hawaii. Because if we have this type of people, I don't think we'll have a problem with so-called leaders in our community. And that's,
Yeah, Donald, thank you for sharing that with us.
yes, thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you. No, I'm sorry. That we just let him go ahead. Make announcement of that. Thank you. Let's move on. Ompo.
Okay, yep, there we go. Yeah, the red isn't off. The March 4th meeting was held, the March monthly meeting of the Citizens Advisory Committee of the Oahu Metropolitan Planning Organization, which is the county's planning organization for transportation. We had a briefing on the public comments on the 25-year plan, which are fairly interesting. And then that was approved to go to the planning, to the next stage. Also talked about the 4-year plan, the more immediate work plan. And well, a few things came up there. Biki, as you may or may not know, has been taken over by the city. So the city will be buying new equipment for Biki and also adding to the handy van fleet. One concern that was brought up by a member of CAC, Mr. Sakamoto, who's a very strong advocate for visually impaired, said that Dillingham Boulevard is impossible right now for anybody with disabilities because there's no sidewalk and you have to get to the bus stop by going over all this construction. So it's a mess right now. Thank you.
Any questions? No, thank you very much. Any questions from the audience? WebEx, any questions? Thanks a lot, Carl. Keep up the good work. Keep us informed. All right, now we have presentations. Kalihi Ahu Ride. Hey, that was close.
Good evening, Chair and members of the Neighborhood Board. My name is Rona Mangayayam. I'm the Director of Youth Services of Kukua Kalihi Valley. Mr. Nira, those youth girls that you've met in that meeting are our mentors in our high school program of Kukua Kalihi Valley. So thank you for being inspired by them. We are again hosting our 9th Kalihi Ahupua Ride. It's an 8.5-mile bike ride starting from deep in the Kalihi Valley from the mountain, then going to down to Maoliola Island. We have several stops. It's in Kalihi, it's historical, where our boys from Kalihi Valley Instructional Bike Exchange will share their stories and the significant importance of those story sites in their lives. And one of those is at Nehelawai by North School Street, where our K-Vibe students goes to volunteer every first Saturday of the month with the community to clean and plant kalo as they are directed by Robert, who's in charge of the cleaning of the garden. So would like to invite anyone who would be interested to join the ride. We have flyers there. There's QR code that will lead you into more information about the ride and of course registration. This is on April 11, 2026. Thank
Well,
you.
I'd like to compliment you on your students. From what Donald said, that really takes a lot of initiative. I have one real personal question. If we want to ride a bike, I don't have a bike. You going to get me a bike?
Yes, our K-5 students are building about 40 bikes for themselves and for the community who would need a bike riding. So when you register, there's a part there. If you need a bike, then they will be able to build a bike for you.
Nothing too fancy, right? I mean, I don't need 10 gears. All I need is one gear, you know.
I don't know about gear, but our students, our boys should
all
know
right.
that. But these are donations from the community as well. And they're stripping and rebuilding for the community as well to use.
Well, I'll invite the board if any member wants to go and join me. Yeah. But thank you.
Thank
Question
you.
from the board. Oh, you're going to join me? Yes, Don.
Changing the subject a little bit, you know, that thing about the garden? Is there any progress on that about who or why they cannot have a garden at Quail Park Terrace?
My understanding is that they are following it up. And then, but we haven't heard any update yet, but they're following it up. What's the possibility?
Yeah, because I was going to ask our senator, Donna Kim, to go and for her to look into it. I think the more legislatures we get pushing that issue, I think we'll get a faster answer.
That would be wonderful, sir.
Yes, thank you.
Any other questions or comments from the board? How about from the audience? Well, if not, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you, sir.
Yes. Next, we'll hear from our chair of the neighborhood commission, Patrick Smith.
Aloha, board. Thank you, Chair, and thank you, board, for allowing me to come and speak to you. As the chair mentioned, or may have, I'm sorry, I was distracted. I'm Patrick Smith. I chair the Neighborhood Commission. Our role on the commission is to provide policy for the boards, to review the neighborhood plan to make sure it's okay. And we do handle a lot of complaints. Unfortunately, we can handle lots and lots of complaints, which is truly unfortunate. But in any event, the reason that I'm here is I just want to give you a little update on some of the activities that we're doing. One is we are asking all the boards to think about their boundaries. And if they have any requests, everybody's nodding their head. So good. If you've thought about it, that's fantastic. Just to give us some feedback. If it's, if you do think about it and you just want to swap like a little part of the neighborhood with another board, that's not so bad. But if we make changes and it sort of cascades over, a lot of boards, we want to take that as a whole. So that's one of the reasons that we're just asking boards. Believe it or not, we got a lot of requests, but not a lot, a lot of people have come back to us once we asked to make changes. So just keep that in mind. And we asked that by the end of April. So the other thing a couple of other things that I do want to point out is that we do review the plan, and we spend a lot of time on our complaints. I hope this board, as far as I recall, has never been involved in one or had a member, so that's fantastic, and hopefully that'll continue. But we have revised it quite a bit so that we can handle things what we consider more efficiently. And it's just about done, and it's going to go to, the rules are to make an amendment to the plan as it goes to 2 public hearings, and then the mayor reviews it. A lot of times we don't get a lot of participation in our public hearings. So I just want to let all the members know, since it does affect the board, affects the community, if anyone has any questions or concerns. I personally wrote a lot of that, so I'd be happy to go through it. If you don't need to go through it, believe me, I could put you to sleep through it, give you too much information. So just ask me, but please take a look if you're interested. The other thing is, we actually are going through our plan piece by piece. And a lot of it covers even the commission and somewhat the NCO and a lot of other details. But it does have a whole section, a whole chapter about the particulars of how the boards function. And sometimes I get questions about why do we have to have a treasurer, blah, blah, blah. Well, it's in the plan. And you know, that's one of those things that we'll look at. But if you have a question or an idea or a concern of the current provisions, let us know. This is the time. So we're going through it little by little. It actually takes a long time. We've been working on it for a year and a half. So, and we still have a bit more work to go because we only do it once a month. But please let us know. The last thing is it's not really a report, but we are just, my vice chair and myself are trying to visit all the boards across the island, just to let you know a little bit about us and to actually come face to face for us to review, not to review your board, I'm sorry, to just look, you know, just look at all the boards and see how they function. And we're going to try to take that back and create some best practices to give the advice to the chairs and the vice chairs, because they do get together every month, but typically I think it's about maybe 10 times a year, something like that. And Lloyd Yanaka, our executive secretary, moderates those. So that's basically what it is. I want to say thank you very much for all of your service, board members. Thank you for the community for coming out. You know, it's our purpose to help the community, and you know, it says actually to let the community see the government or how the government functions and to provide input. So, and that's happening. So I applaud each of you and thank you very much. That's all I have.
Well, first of all, Pat, I want to thank you for coming because actually I've been on this board for, oh golly, a long time. And I think you're the first chair that's come to visit us. So thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Questions? Yes. Carol.
How do we give, you said you wanted feedback on different things. How do we provide that?
Thank you for reminding me because I forgot this the last time I did this. To find out information about how the commission, it's just like finding information on the board. You just go to the website. All you got to do is type in NCO in Honolulu and it should give you the link. And then you just select commission. And we have our commission meetings themselves, which are about the policies broadly, but we actually have a plan committee, and that's chaired by my vice chair, Larry Veray, who's actually IAEA's chair, and he's been chair for a number of years. So he's, people who know him, he's very well respected and does a great job. But that's sort of the way you can get on their mailing list also, contact NCO. I think you get on our mailing list by going MB00. I think that's it. And they'll probably send you the committee information too. But
When do you meet? Just for your information, when do you meet and where?
generally, we actually meet where you used to meet down there at Kapalama Halley, excuse me. We meet the commission itself meets the fourth Monday of the month. Typically, the plan committee meets the third. And I say typically because for some reason, the third Monday of the month, there's a lot of holidays and we're always having to move it. So
What time?
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock. Okay. Questions, comments from the board? Audience, yes. Yeah. Who's this stranger here?
Mr. Chairman, Bixby Hole, former neighborhood board 14, a long time ago. Anyway, my question is, I know that they were talking about a while back about changing how we do the neighborhood board setup. Instead of by sub-district was going to go all at large. Has there been any traction on that since?
Our philosophy is not really to interfere with each of the boards themselves. So if a board, and I should have mentioned this, I kind of forgot. I should have this written out, so my apologies. But if a board has issues like they can't fill a position that's a sub-district, they can come to the commission, and we do that quite a bit. And we can make it at large for the term or actually from there on out. You can actually go in the other direction, but you have to wait for an election. Like if you had all at large and you did want to go to sub-districts, that's a different process, but it's still very easy. But I don't think it's not my philosophy, and I don't think that the rest of the commission wants to dictate terms to the boards. So if a board wants to do it, just ask. And almost assuredly, we will say fine, but we're not going to dictate that. Thank you.
Good to hear. Any questions? Yes, Cora.
It's maybe premature question, but since you all have been working for a year and a half, are there any best practices that have emerged that are mentionable?
Well, what we're doing in visiting all the boards, we're trying to get best practices. That's really the functioning. When we talk about reviewing the plan, it's more of getting in the nitty gritty and talking about the provisions themselves. And I don't think that's not the place for best practices. It's more of coming to these meetings, seeing what works well, and maybe that may not work across the board, but seeing what works and then letting other board chairs, the vice chairs, know, hey, this board does this. It seems to work. That may be something you think about. But there again, we wouldn't dictate that. So,
And you can make a list of all of the recommendations that you've come up with or the best
Yes.
practices.
yes.
You can send it to me. I'll disseminate it.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll certainly do that. We haven't really, it's myself and Larry Veray. We haven't, we're getting together next week and talk about it. And so we haven't figured a formula, but yes, we will produce that and send it out.
Any more comments or questions from the board? Yeah, Donald.
You know the formula for sub-district? Isn't that the residents, how many residents you got in one area? Because I'll give you an example. Ward 15, neighborhood board 15, 13 at large. Okay, you talk to the residents and the residents say, oh, I don't know who to call. But like ours, we have sub-districts. So if you need someone, we're on the sub-district. And you can come talk to us. But I don't believe in this so-called at large because I believe, people need to know who their representatives are on the neighborhood board.
Well, I would say, so I chaired before I became commission chair, I chaired the Nu'uanu board for a number of years. And we're actually struggling a little bit because we have about not filling our seats in one district. But we're very passionate because that district is around Punch Bowl. We're very passionate about having that representation from the community you come from. But there again, it's board by board. And we allow the board to sort of make that determination. Who knows the community better than the board folks, the board members. And so if we were to sit and say, this is the best policy for everybody, I don't think that would be a good function or good method.
Good point.
I mean,
Any other,
I hear your concern.
any other questions or comments from the board? How about from,
Sure.
oh, Lloyd, go ahead.
Aloha, sir. One comment I would say is I don't know if it's in the purview of your authority or your group's authority to change the election back to having the mail-in options. I think by restricting it to electronics, it kind of really deters. It becomes a barrier for some of especially the older folks and technologically challenged. So maybe 20 years from now, that would be, not an issue. But for now, I think it would be good to have that opportunity to just mail in.
Well, elections are actually a little bit more complicated because I had a discussion with the executive secretary about maybe moving the board elections to the regular elections. And I got a pretty flat no on that one. You do have to realize the structure. We are the commission. We make policy for the boards, but the NCO, they operate under the mayor. And essentially, if a mayor says no, then that's kind of it. And we actually are going to look at the election. We're kind of constrained because the NCO will probably say this is the way they want to operate it for various reasons. But I'll bring back your concern. We are going to, sorry, Chair, not to go on, but we are going to start looking at, we have an elections committee. I don't know if you know, but we had problems the last two elections. So yeah, there were little issues, but we actually got sued. It was kind of strange. It's a long story, but it didn't go anywhere. But we did have problems. So one of the things that I committed to when I became chair is to create an elections committee to go back and look at the problems that we had to make sure our commission is on board with our responsibilities and to help the NCO just dot their I's, cross their T's, and make sure everything is run properly. So that is something we're going to look at. I will bring your concern up at that time and see what we can do.
That's great. Thank you very much for that. Anything else from the board? How about the audience? WebEx? If not, Pat, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very
Come
much.
back anytime.
Thank you, board. Thank you,
Yeah.
Chair.
Thank you. All right, moving right along. Mayor's representative, Edward, are you still here?
Hello, Chair Fong. Sorry, working on some deadlines here in my office, so otherwise, I'd rather be there.
Yeah.
Update from the mayor's newsletter. Couple updates for you. First off, mayor announces town hall meetings. So the town hall meeting that's closest to this district, this neighborhood board 14, will be held on May 14th. It's a Thursday. They're all on Thursdays. 6:30, 8:30 at the Honolulu Holly Grounds at Mission Memorial Auditorium. So that's going to be the one that's closest for this one. Is going to be located. It's going to be on May 14th, Mission Memorial Auditorium. Other announcements in the newsletter we have on April 1st, the city is going to launch its GROW program, Green Recycling Organic Waste. So what it's going to do is going to divert the green waste from, instead of going to H Power or the landfill, it's going to be diverted towards composting. And then last thing I want to highlight for you on there is the Honolulu Police Commission invites public to provide some input on the selection of its next police chief. So anybody interested, trying to find the reference here. Oh, they didn't put a reference on here. Oh, here it is. On the mayor's newsletter, there's a QR code that you can go ahead and scan, and you can provide that input to the Honolulu Police Commission for input on the hiring of their new police chief. Let's see. Otherwise, updates for you from the updates from prior meetings relative to Wiley Street and Liliha Street intersection. So HPD District 5 Community Policing Team staged their subsidized vehicle on Ma'imai between January 28th and January 29th, also on February 3rd. They were observing for any violations, speeding violations, crosswalk violations. They did not observe anything at that time. They were there during school hours. They will continue to monitor the area. Let's see. On the issue of flooding at Pu'unui Street, as reported, DFM did clear that area. This is a good one. If you can come back to neighborhood board 14 and, we can follow up on it again if it does overgrow again. Another option is using the city's 311 app, HNL 311. You can do it online. You can do it over your phone. There's an app for it. But you can report that if it's, starts getting bad, and then it'll help generate the work order. You can put the pictures on and everything like that, so we can make sure it gets taken care of on a timely basis. And maybe you don't have to wait for the next neighborhood board meeting. Homeless encampments near School Street McDonald's. The property owners actually reached out to the city and county of Honolulu. They are working with HPD. They are working with some of our homeless solutions folks on getting some action down there in terms of enforcement and just monitoring the area. Again, HPD aren't security guards, so they can't be there. And it's up to the private property owner to make sure they're there and they're doing their part to keep those folks off of their private properties. But they are folks. The city is monitoring the area to keep that area clear, more or less when they can.
Ed, can I ask
Mm-hmm.
you a question about that?
Sure.
On the corner of School Street and Liliha, right in the corner where McDonald's is.
Yep.
I see some homeless. What they're doing is sunbathing on a grassy area. Does the HPD have any jurisdiction in that area, or is it really the jurisdiction
Property owner,
of
because that's
the
still
owner?
private property.
Oh, okay. That's what I
I
thought.
understand. I think they, when working with HPD, I understand they have been stepping up trespassing in the area, and going out and enforcing their property rights on their own property. At Nuuanu Ave and Kuakini, a request for a no right turn on red, DTS, Department of Transportation Services. We'll be studying that intersection and we'll come back to the neighborhood board with its recommendation when the traffic study is completed. Let's see. Kapalama Stream Canal maintenance, I think Member Na'awa Ota touched on that one already today. And I'll raise that area on the Mauka side of the canal. Between 2176 to 164 Hillcrest. And we'll identify that one specifically and see if we can get that one cleaned up. I did not get an update from the next two for Hoftailing footpath and the pavement at damage at the corner of Kelia Drive and Waihe Street intersection. So we'll keep that one on and you can sit tight with me and we'll see if we can get those resolved. Number 8, status of vacant property at Napuea Park. Currently, the city has no plans or nothing in the budget proposed or otherwise to make any improvements of those areas. So, that one's going to be where it's at right now. We'll kind of stay static as a passive park. Status of ʻAlewa Drive Neighborhood Park Retaining Wall Project. DDC said the bid opening occurred in February, and the project is construction start date for the project is June 2026. Target completion date is by March 2027. So they'll start the project this summer.
Should we keep that on the agenda or is that pretty much just wait until it's finished?
Well, the project went out, bids opened, and they're targeting construction in June 2026.
So it's a sort of a done deal, then we just have to wait it to be completed, right? Or the bids are going out, is that it?
The bids are out, the bids are open. Target date for the construction is June 2026. I think the neighbors will probably get some kind of announcement closer to June when like we normally do for our other projects before you start working and making noise in your neighborhoods.
So the contract was awarded?
I don't have an awardee on my update though.
Okay, I'll leave it on the agenda. So you can give us a brief of that. Okay.
What more information are you looking for? Are you looking for the contractor or?
I don't know. I just
Construction
somebody
schedule,
put this on there. I just wondered what it was. Who brought this up? You did. Oh, what did you want to know about it?
Like when it was happening.
Are you satisfied with that answer?
Yes, I am.
All right, we'll take it off. Go ahead.
Actually, I brought it up a few years ago too, because my several of my neighbors had young kids who were practicing basketball in our small street, and they still are doing that. But anyway, will that the retaining wall project, does that include putting the rims back in the basketball court?
Yes, once the project's completed, DPR, once they turn it back over to DPR, they'll go ahead and open up that basketball court again.
Okay. And that'll be great. I hate seeing the little kids playing basketball on the street and then yelling, car.
Carl, do you want to keep it on, or Christy, or are you guys satisfied with that? You okay? Carl, here's something. Okay. All right. Anything else? Yes, go ahead, Carl.
Edward, thank you. On the pavement on the corner of Kelia and Waihe'e, they came and they, tagged where they were going to do it. But since then, we had all the rains. It's now the breaking has gone to the main part of the street and it is past what they marked before. So just heads up, if they don't do it soon, it's going to cost a whole lot more because it's getting into the main bed of the street.
Yes. All right. Yeah. Brandon.
Edward, thank you for the request to have HPD monitor. My family plays at that my playground all the time. Had a chance to talk to the police officers up there. Their presence in the parking lot with their lights on, taking a look at those vehicles as they drive in front of my really slows people down. So I really thank them for actually taking the time to be out there and monitoring that particular stretch of road. The second thing is thank you for the cutting of the grass at Puanui. I know that the Sakamotos really appreciate that. You went above and beyond with that one. We appreciate it. One last one is the Liliha and Wiley Street traffic safety study. Is that one still going on with DTS? Do we have a timeline on that?
I do not have a timeline. I was looking through the notes. I don't see if we made a request, but let me check with the neighborhood assistant and we can see whether or not we made that request and get you an
I
update on
wrote it
that.
in one of those sheets for the neighborhood board assistant, but if you want me to, I can always write another one again.
No need to write another one.
Got it.
We'll see if we
Thanks,
got
Edward.
input.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Brandon, you talked about the Liliha Wiley? Is that
Liliha Wiley intersection to
you want to keep that on the agenda?
yes, please.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
can do it. Anybody
I?
else? Board?
May I? Me?
Oh, well then, hi. Go ahead.
Just a quick question, Edward. I'm not sure if you're the one that was doing this, but it was brought to my attention on one of the neighborhood watches that I went on. And they're still asking about that crosswalk by Bates and Nuwanu. Is that you or is that someone else?
That's the city and county of Honolulu, and that's going to be the Department of Transportation Services. I think they did put out the temporary, solution. I think it's in the queue for procurement to come out because that's something that we would bid out and have a contractor go in there and paint and install the temporary safety measures until, as I reported at the last neighborhood board meeting. So that's the status on that one.
Anybody? Cora?
Follow-up question on the composting program. Mentioned several neighborhoods will be piloting, and one was Kalihi. Does that come into our area also? What is Kalihi defined as for the composting?
I'd have to get back to you on that one.
Okay, thank you.
On the
Anybody
boundaries of
else?
what Kalihi means.
Board, anybody else? Audience? How about WebEx? If not it, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's see. Council member Tam, anybody from that office?
Hi, it's Peggy Mearsma with Councilmember Dos Santos Tam's office. Thank you for having us tonight. Just a few things wanted to follow up on. We did talk about the stream already and clearing the trees. Excuse me. Let's see. The Hoftailing of Puni and School Street footpath, we put in a riser, and I also am trying to do it through the 311 system. We've had some really good success using that system in just the past few days out of the office. So it's great. Yeah. The McDonald's, we spoke with McDonald's too, and they are working with HPD as already said, but they also mentioned that they were going to be trying to do some improvements on their property as well. So those are some follow-ups from the last time. Some highlights here. Sakura tree planting at Napueo Mini Park is going to be on Wednesday, March 25th at 9 a.m. And that's going to be with the Kochi Prefecture officials and Ann Kobayashi. Wiley Street, we were talking with DTS, and I know that they're trying to evaluate some of the parking on there. Hopefully we have a better timeline for you when a study is going to happen, but we've brought some issues up with them as well. So they're getting back to us, and we don't have it planned yet, but we are going to hold a future meeting regarding community gardens, one for Mutual Lane to do one on Mutual Lane. And council member, we're going to be sending out some letters for the households in the immediate area. It's about 80 households that would be impacted, but working on cleaning up the garden. Community gardens section of Parks and Rec is amazing. So we're going to work with them and hopefully have them come out and do a presentation for this board. Some other things, again, I'm going to go back to this 311 app. My coworker, Lynn, who does a lot of our constituent work, she's used it in the last week and has gotten responses immediately for 2 of the issues she flagged. I have not had as good as a result. I did one personally, but I'm still waiting. Let's see what else. And that is really it for us. I'm also going to just flag some of these other concerns that have come up through the meeting, so we can work on anything with the administration in tandem that is necessary, and yeah, hopefully move things along faster.
Thank you. Any questions from the board? Comments? How about from the audience?
Sorry.
WebEx? Not, thank you very much. Moving on. Let's see,
Chair.
Carl Rhodes.
Chair, sorry, I think Bert online had a question.
Oh, somebody's online? Wants to- Is there somebody who wanted to ask questions of? Who is that?
Peggy, yeah, who's?
Bert who? Bert Lau? Bert, you want to ask a question? You got to unmute yourself.
Okay, here it goes. I had a question for Peggy. You mentioned that there's going to be a tree planting in Napueo Mini Park.
Yes.
And is that the one with the basketball court or the larger one?
The mini park? I'm not, I'll get back to you because I just have mini park on my sheet that he told me. I'm
And
not, it's a good question.
how was that decided, or what? And with the Kochi prefectural government, I mean, that's very good, but
There's been,
how did that come up?
I don't know the whole backstory to this, but I do know that there were some meetings that were held. I wasn't a part of these. I think it's been going on for some time.
Huh.
So he just told me like yesterday, he's like, oh, make sure you let them know there's going to be a tree planting. So, yeah, I guess check it out if you can.
And what
Chair.
date was that?
It's March 25th, Wednesday, March 25th at 9 a.m.
Okay. Is
Carol.
that, you've been working
Yeah.
with Dr. Caldwell?
I don't know who he was. Honestly, I don't know who he was working with.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Carl.
Chair, many years back, there was talk of putting windbreak up on the top in the park. And that's probably what it is planting windbreaks.
Okay, that's not the park that has a basketball. You're talking about the main park. That's not Poya Park then. Bert, you heard that? Yeah, okay.
Yes.
All right. All right.
Thank
So
you.
we know which park it is. We live up there. All right. Thank you. Any other questions? Thanks, Carl. From the audience? WebEx? Okay, if not, thanks. Representative of Carl Rhodes' office?
Aloha. Hi everyone. My name is Helena Beltran. I am here on behalf of Carl. So just to address the agenda, so he currently has a bill that he introduced this session, which is SB 2146. And this is relating to the traffic infractions. This bill will essentially establish a traffic fines task force that will take into consideration of the Finland fine system. This would implicate essentially a point system where every infraction would equal to a certain amount of points that will result in an outcome such as fines or suspension depending on the total amount of points that someone would accumulate. This bill is actually still active and it just recently transferred to the House of Representatives. He is also working on a resolution along the same lines of this bill, and the resolution should be posted on the legislative website by the end of the week, so Friday the 13th. And if you would like to stay updated with both the bill and the resolution when it comes out, you can visit the legislative website and all the updates will be posted on there. Also, since the RSV and flu are very prevalent right now, especially for those over 60. He encourages them to get vaccinated if they haven't already. And if you guys have any questions or concerns, you can call the office or email him at sendroads@capital.hawaii.gov. If anyone has any questions, I'll be free. I'll try to answer them if I can. If not, I will definitely take it back to the office.
Okay, thank you. Actually, so in regards to the increase of sanctions or fines, we'll leave that on the agenda. That's still an ongoing project.
Yes, since the resolution is still yet to come out and then the bill is
I'll leave it
currently a
on.
work in
I'll leave it on.
progress.
I'll leave it on. Okay, questions from the board?
Chair?
Oh, yeah, Carl.
Okay. Thank you to the Senator Rhodes and staff for creating this legislation. It's something that came up during a traffic summit that we had, and appreciate the follow-up.
Thank you. Hey, anybody else from the board? How about from the audience? WebEx? Oh, I have one more mundane question. When is Senator Rhodes' last month? Is it November?
So it's yes. So I believe it's mid-November when he has to pretty much pack up the office, and that would be his last.
Yeah, okay. Well, I already saw him and I invited him to come say goodbye to us. So, thank you. Any questions? All right, moving on. Senator Kim's office. For Senator Kim.
And board members,
Hi.
hi, happy to be here. I know we missed last month. I did send out my community report. Just wanted to highlight some of the bills that are moving. We are at that time of the session where the Senate bills will be crossing over to the House. Tomorrow is the big day where most of the bills will be passed on third reading as they go over to the House. Senate Bill 2661, the nepotism bill. I know, Chair, you've always supported this measure. It is going to cross over to the House where it has died in the past, unfortunately. And again, as a review, we do have a state policy on nepotism, but the legislature and the judiciary is exempt. So this bill would not exempt them anymore. And just to note that the Senate does have a nepotism policy despite not being required to do so. So we hope that this measure will finally pass. Senate Bill 3332, this is a bill I introduced on the state travel moratorium. As you know, the budget is very tight and we are always looking at how do we make government more efficient? And this is one of the ways during our Ways and Means hearings, we've seen pages and pages and hundreds of trips. And some of these trips, I think, do not have to happen. And so this would put a 2-year moratorium. It would still allow any trips that are required by one's position or required by law, or if you have to go to court, and it will allow for 3 trips a year for conferences that is pertinent and you can make a justification for. The other bill I wanted to touch upon is Senate Bill 3125, and this is the tax cut freeze that the governor is proposing. So the tax cuts we gave you folks 2 years ago, and it is happening, and you are getting tax breaks as for the next so many years, and the governor wanted to freeze it all. What the Senate is proposing is that we would freeze it or pause it for the upper income level and protect the lower income. So if you make $175,000 a month, or as a couple, $350,000, you would continue to have the tax cuts. And if you make more than that, then you would not be getting the tax cuts. So that's basically it in a nutshell. Also wanted to touch upon the pedestrian safety improvements in the Liliha area. I know this is a city issue, but I thought I'd bring it up since nobody brought it up. Regional transportation planning efforts have identified several locations around the Liliha area where pedestrian safety and improvements may help reduce crashes and improve walkability. Some of the things you folks talked about tonight. The Oahu Metropolitan Planning Organization's pedestrian plan uses crash data and roadway conditions to identify higher risk areas across the island and within the Liliha community, intersections such as Liliha Street, sorry, and Holokahana Lane and Liliha Street and Kuakini Street have been identified as locations where pedestrian safety upgrades are necessary. And these findings will help guide future improvements aimed at making streets a lot safer for people walking, biking, and driving. Also want to respond to the issue that was brought up earlier about community gardens at Cohill Park Terrace. I don't know the answer to this, but what I do know is that Cohill Park Terrace is part of the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. And right now they are in the middle of a multi-phase redevelopment of 650 new units. And community gardens are not necessarily or generally approved in an active construction zone. So I'm not sure if the community gardens is something that can possibly happen in the future, but it's also not listed as a designated use in the Cohill Park Terrace revitalization plan. Now, this is something I will bring up with the Hawaii Public Housing Authority to ask more about that, but that's what I can tell you about the public housing issue. And just wanted to touch up that the Liliha Public Library programs, there's a Read to a Therapy Dog, fourth Saturday of each month. Keiki Read with trained therapy dogs and a partnership with Canine Therapests. And on March 19th, 5 p.m., there's a mini loom weaving workshop and participants create small woven projects. So you can contact the Liliha Library for more information. And possible unsettling weather, we may be in store for us this week. So I encourage residents to monitor the National Weather Service updates and follow emergency management announcements. So with that, open to questions.
All right, Senator, thank you very much. Actually, I wanted to thank you for your support for the nepotism bill that I know the Senate actually supported it, and now it's up to the House. For those of you
Yes.
who may not know, I'm the chair of the State Ethics Commission. It was initiated by us. It basically says that if you are a state employee, you cannot, you're not supposed to be hiring any relative, et cetera, or supervise. And the Senate is in favor of it, but we're having a little pushback on the House. So anyway, thank you for your support. And also thank you for making it easier for us to kind of monitor the travel of our legislators. That really helps. So
It's
thank you.
not just legislators, it's across all departments.
Across the board?
Yeah, across the board, yes, including DOE and the University of Hawaii.
I know that's your favorite subject, right? All right. Thank you anyway for your initiative. Questions? Questions? Comments? Yes. Donald.
You know, on that Cohill Park Terrace about the garden?
Yes.
Can you explain? I thought Michael's had that contract. Now you're telling me that someone else has the contract?
Well, someone else do have the contract because Michael's, they ended the contract with Michael's. I can't remember at the top of my head who it is, but it's always been under HUD. It's always been part of the federal housing and redevelopment.
So that's why the residents gonna have a garden? I mean,
I
can you
don't know
give
if that's the
more-
reason, but I do know like in any kind of planned, community planned condo type living that there are covenants and restrictions. So I'm not sure what they are. And that's why I said that, you know, I would follow up and check. But I know that like any condominium, you have certain restrictions that you can't do.
Okay, yeah, if you can get back to us.
I will.
And give us more information on that.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Don. Anybody else? Board? Audience? WebEx? Thank you very much, Senator.
You're welcome. Thank you, guys.
All right, moving on. Representative Takinouchi.
Hi, Chair.
Hi, Jenna. Hi.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. Couple of quick reminders. Did want to just start off with a reminder about the town hall meeting on traffic safety and speeding I'm hosting on Wednesday for District 27. That's going to be Wednesday, March 11th from 6 to 7:30 p.m. We are closely tracking, how the weather's going to hold up, and if there is any kind of issue with safety or kind of flooding that kind of hits sooner rather than later, we will definitely be canceling. But I am hearing that, the brunt of the storm is anticipated for Thursday into Friday. So I'm hoping to really get the community this update. I know last year's update, sorry, go back a little bit. We're bringing back the Department of Transportation to talk about, Poly Highway, some of the things about the cameras for the red light running and the speed cameras, to give updates on those. Department of Transportation Services from the city is going to talk about some of the hotspot sites that were brought up, not just at the last update we did, but at the ongoing kind of locations that we get all the time about kind of speeding concerns. Honolulu Police Department from both districts are sending representatives to kind of talk about the monitoring that they're doing and outreach in those areas. And also my colleague, Darius Keela, Rep. Darius Keela, who is our House Transportation Chair, is going to give a brief update on some of the traffic safety issues or traffic safety bills that we're kind of moving this year to address kind of like this really uptick in concern we've heard from community. So this is going to be on Wednesday, the 11th, from 6 to 7:30 p.m. at Kwananakoa Middle School cafeteria, where we've kind of had the last couple of meetings. So please come out. I know because the weather might be an issue, we are going to try and do a more kind of comprehensive like recap that maybe we can kind of send out and break down a lot of the questions and updates from the departments if people don't feel like they can come out in because of the weather. But please join us if you can. Hopefully the weather will be okay. Next, just wanted to give a quick update. DOE tax, the Department of Taxation sent some tips and some changes that might impact people who mail their taxes in to make sure they're received on time without penalty. Currently, previously, USPS would postmark the mail and the date it was placed in the mailbox, but because of some of the issues they've been seeing or the uptick in or I guess to deal with the kind of processing issues they've been having, now USPS postmarks incoming mail on the day it's processed at the facility, which could be 1 to 3 days later. So DOE tax is highly encouraging people to if you're going to mail your tax return information in, please do it at least 5 to 7 days before the deadlines to make sure you're not dinged. I'll also put a link in the chat to some other reminders that they have around that, but really just want to stress that mail thing if you do still mail in your tax returns so that you don't get caught up in any kind of delays. And then just one last reminder, a lot of you from this board, or if you're in the 96817 zip code, I did share a program that Hawaii Energy is offering for a refrigerator trade-up program specifically for that zip code. So if you live anywhere in 96817, you can trade in your old fridge for a new Energy Star fridge for as low as $250, depending on the size. I think it's between $250 and $450. They are including applications, and they will help you process all this and even help you with the drop off and pick up of your old fridge to dispose of it through April 15th, 2026. This is a partnership with work they're doing with the Susanna Wesley Community Center. So I will put a link in the chat to that. Again, sorry, it's only for people in 96817 if anybody is outside of that area. But it's a good program. Hope you can take advantage of it. My auntie up in ʻālewa Heights did it. She was really excited. So yeah. And any other questions I can take back, happy to do so.
Yeah, before you said $250. Can you repeat that? What was that about?
Yeah. So they're offering like new Energy Star fridges for as low as $250, between $250 and $450, depending on the size that you're looking to trade in for.
Trade in what? I'm sorry.
Yeah, your old fridge. So if your old fridge is, like one of those really old ones that uses a lot of like refrigerator. Yeah. So you
Auto
can get a new
bridge
fridge for
out there.
a new energy
Oh,
efficient
all right,
fridge.
great. All right. Also, Representative, we have under your Kuleana, we have New Kuakini Ridge homeless encampment remediation and School Street New Bridge homeless encampment remediation. Any report on those two?
Yeah, they just swept the New Uanu Bridge in the last 1 or 2 weeks. They got out there and did a sweep, and the city and the state know, and they're keeping them on the regular rotation schedule.
Good to hear.
Yeah.
Because they were playing the little game, you know, the city kicks me out, I'm gonna go to the state, and the state kicks me out, go back to the city property.
That location is hard, you know. I know it's right. It's not only just the encampment, right? It's the chop shop for the
Yeah.
mopeds and the bikes,
Yeah.
but they are aware, and they told me that they're going to keep it on the rotating list to move
Oh,
people
it's
through.
Good to hear. Good to
Yeah,
hear.
and actually, the residents at the Sakura condo are in constant contact with me about when the encampment starts getting bigger. Then we just kind of ping the city and state guys to make sure they kind of get out there.
Good. Questions from the board? Comments? Audience? WebEx? Not. Thank you very much, Representative Takanuchi. All right,
Happy
next on
market. Stay dry this week.
thank you. Next, Representative Holt. No, nobody. Not anymore. Oh, that's right. All right, scratch them off or no. Actually, then we don't have anybody. Nobody to request. Not. I know not yet, but wait a minute, give me a break. I think if memory serves me correct, actually, if there's a vacancy, the governor will pick somebody, right?
Yeah, by April 14th.
Oh, the 3 people. All right. I guess all right. Oh, okay. I'm not. It's my bad ear over there. All right. Got it. Got it. All right. Everybody heard that? One of these 3? All right. All right. Moving right along.
What is their qualification?
Representative, I'm sorry, you have something?
Since you brought it up, what is their qualification to fill the job?
Did you hear that?
They
Go
have to
ahead,
be
Seth.
appointed.
Strict appointment.
They need to live in the
No.
district.
No, they have to live in the district. They have to be registered to vote.
And
Bottom
they have to
line.
be a Democrat.
And a Democrat and appointed by the party.
Correct. Well, appointed by the governor, really.
Nominated
the
by the
names
party.
are determined by the party. Yeah, the 3 names.
Okay.
That's the law.
Okay, you good? All of you got that? Stay tuned. All right. Let's move on. Representative Hussey.
Hey,
Somebody's
good evening, everyone.
Oh, hi. All right.
Can you hear me okay?
Good point.
Hey, everybody.
Hi.
I just wanted to say hello. Let's see. This is, we're on the evening, or I guess the eve of a big deadline. Tomorrow, we're expecting sort of all morning, most of the afternoon, legislative session to handle all the bills that are moving over on 3rd reading over to the Senate. And we're looking forward to all the bills that are coming over from the Senate to the House. So to me, this is sort of a really exciting part of the legislative session. It's like sort of like halfway done. And, you know, it's an opportunity to look at bills like the bill that Senator Rhodes is introducing around, you know, changing the way that we think about traffic fines, and seeing all the great work that our colleagues in the Senate have been doing. So I'm looking forward to the next several weeks while we have a chance to have public hearings on all the bills coming over from the state Senate. So let's see. You know, I guess that's kind of that's what's on my mind right now, is just sort of getting ready for tomorrow's session. That's why I'm still at my office. Are there any questions that you or the board has? Oh, and I'm sorry. I wanted to make sure that I respond to the question around the KPT garden. And I'm really glad that, you know, that Donald was able to come to that meeting that we held in Kalihi around the House District 29 budget priorities, CIP budget priorities. That was the meeting that we were talking about earlier. And actually, I think the conversation at that meeting was around a garden at Kalihi Valley Homes. That's what the young people were talking about. And basically, what we're looking at doing is I had a meeting with Ben Park from Hawaii Public Housing Authority a couple of weeks ago, and we're basically looking at trying to work through the HPHA administration to make sure that the families at Kalihi Valley Homes can have the community garden that they're really interested in putting together. So, I mean, it's really just kind of working through bureaucratic and administrative processes, but I don't think there's anything hard and fast that's stopping it from happening. One of the key things is that there needs to be a you know, an official community group that the administration for Hawaii Public Housing Authority can recognize as being their partner in doing all sorts of programs at the housing project. So whether that's the playground, whether it's a garden, other sort of community events, there needs to be a kind of an official elected or selected body that the administration can work with. So that's one of the key things that we have on our agenda for Kalihi Valley Homes, is to get that sort of entity stood up for that particular housing community, and that'll help us get the garden done.
Okay, well, thanks for what you're doing for the Kalihi Valley, not for your Black Stars. Any questions? Board? Audience? WebEx? If not, thank you, Representative Holt. I'm sorry, Hussey. Oh, I forgot about Holt already.
Close enough. Thanks.
All right, guys, give me a break. Governor's representative, Dallas.
Aloha, Chair. Aloha, everyone. Can you hear and see me okay?
Yeah. Hi.
Okay, perfect. So I just want to start off by addressing the news that was brought to us today by Governor Josh Green issuing an emergency proclamation ahead of the Kona low storm system that's expected to bring heavy rain, severe thunderstorms, strong winds, flash floodings across the islands. Last I heard was starting somewhere tomorrow or possibly tonight, going on through Saturday. If there's any updates or changes, I highly encourage you all to just keep in touch with HAIMA, their social media pages, and also the governor's social media pages as well for the latest updates. As far as the heavy rain and the flooding, expecting first to hit on Kauai, then on Oahu, and then spreading statewide, residents are encouraged to just be prepared by clearing drains and gutters, securing any outdoor items, protecting any valuables from flooding, and also checking their environment, their community for any trees or structures that could be damaged by the strong winds. Make sure to report them to keep everyone on the same page as far as awareness goes. And households are advised to sign up for those local emergency alerts that we get on our phones, or just stay in touch with social media. Also, just to have that mindset to prepare to operate without electricity, and also store emergency food, water, medicine, supplies. Have a go bag ready in case of any evacuations are needed. And if there are shelters that are opening up, HAIMA is really the best source to get that information for not only your family, but for your pets as well. I also shared on the chat on WebEx Governor's newsletter, where he touches on new projects for our kupuna when it comes to housing, connecting remote communities, protecting keiki online, his work with the Hawaii Attorney General Ann Lopez, really leading a coalition of 40 states, urging Congress to pass the Kids Online Safety Act, which would require social media platforms to just take a stronger step or just more guidance to protect our keiki and teens online. And there's also just great information on that newsletter in regards to expanding early learning. So families can apply for Hawaii's free public pre-K program. And this offers more than 100 classrooms statewide and helps prepare 3- and 4-year-old keiki for kindergarten through play-based learning. And I know a lot has been talked about community gardens with KPT and Kalihi Valley Homes. I'm also with the Hawaii Public Housing Authority as well. And I know there's been conversation with my colleague Ben Park, but I do want to leave my email in the chat at this moment. And I'll also announce it as well if anyone wants to write this down, where I can also get the questions and more information added as well. And it is DALLIS .K as in kite .ONTI V for Victor EROS at hawaii.gov. And I can also serve as a resource to get the information and questions answered as well. And I entered it on WebEx right now. And that concludes my report. Thank you so much, Chair. And I'm here to collect any questions if needed, or you could email them as well.
Well, thank you. Any questions or comments from the board?
Hello, Chair.
Lloyd?
Aloha, Dallas. May I ask
Aloha.
inquired, related to the community garden and Representative Hussey mentioning the need for an association? It's my understanding all tenants, I mean, HPHA tracks every tenant and every household has a role and including all the personal information. I mean, what kind of organization are we talking about, or this may be just miscommunication?
Okay, your question's is in regard to what kind of organization that needs to be formed within the residence and the approval process.
Yes, or if there's one at all, because seems like the resident managers there talk to the residents all the time and they have a way to get hold of them and communicate on a regular basis.
I can find out the current status right now. Is it in regard to Kalihi Valley Homes or Kuhio Park Terrace as well?
Mahalo.
I'm sorry, is it with both properties you have questions on or just in general? And I could send that answer to the chair.
I guess both.
Okay. I will follow up with you on the current status to date.
Yeah, I want you to send it to me and then I can disseminate it, in information.
Okay. Sounds good.
Is that okay, Lloyd? All right.
Thank you.
Any questions or any comments from the other comments from the board? Audience?
Would it? Sorry, Chair.
Is it oh, yes. Go ahead.
Would it be helpful if I responded to that question? I think it was sort of a follow-up to the comments I was making earlier.
Oh, one of you two, you can respond to me and I'll disseminate it. How's that? You guys get together. How's that?
Okay.
All right, thanks. All right, moving
Thank you,
on.
Chair.
Oh, any other questions? Comments? All right, moving on. Oh, we have a representative from Ed Case's office. I know.
Sorry. Hi, I'm Tristan. Congressman Case, you wanted to note that the Federal Aviation Administration, or the FAA, announced an extension of the deadline for public comment regarding the FAA's Hawaii Airspace Modernization Project. The deadline is now Sunday, March 15th. For more information on how to submit public comment and what this project is, you can go to the Congressman's website. It is under his newsletters. Also, just some updates of what's been going on in Congress. One of his main concerns, as always, is the cost of living and the impacts on Hawaii's residents. Right now, he's working on fiscal year 2027 in Appropriations Committee. And our office is also working on gathering proposals for community project funding. He also nominated 30 applicants for our military service academies throughout 16 schools of urban Honolulu. And then we also held our 2025 annual Congressional App Challenge with the winner gets to fly to DC and participate in a kind of like a coding conference. We also want to flag that there's our congressional art competition. This is only for high school students, but if you want to promote this in your communities, you can also do that as well. There's more information on our website as well. Thank you.
Any questions? I have one question. Is he going to give us an update in regards to the Warren Iran and what the United States plans to do, or our president?
I know he circulated a newsletter and there's been press releases as well. You can find that on his website. I'm not sure.
Well, it's great. If there's anything new, except for what I've listened to CNN or Fox, one of the two, right? I can pass it on. Just send it to me.
Okay,
I'm curious.
sounds good.
There's one question I have is Trump has says that he's thinking about bringing back the draft. And I go, oh, that's new. So I just wondered, in regards to that. Okay, any questions? Yes.
On the flyway, it was brought up maybe about 4 or 5 years ago about the military flying over the city of Honolulu and the residents. And the question was, why are they flying over residential area or the city? And now you're asking now for comments on that? I mean, the idea on that question was, why are the military flying over residential area? Why don't they fly over the sea? Because the last time I had this big flyway where the commander says, oh, my group got together, so we made a flyway. And there were about 20 helicopters flying over Honolulu. And the question is, we know that there was a couple incidents where the helicopter had to land in Hawaii Kai. So why are we bringing this up now? And now you guys asking us for the input. The input was, why is the military flying over residential area? And the idea, it was that. It's not, oh, now give us comments again. I mean, come on. We want to know, why does the military fly over residential area?
Yeah, that's definitely one of the concerns that we hear a lot, and definitely one that's on the congressman's mind. He has stressed in letters sent to the FAA with his concerns over lack of coordination with and limitations on military utilization of our airspace, especially over communities at night. He is also, he is also very concerned with the increasing amounts of commercial flights at lower altitudes, helicopters, especially tour helicopters, in areas like Hawaii Kai. So he is in contact with the FAA and he is trying to address these concerns.
I think you know our concerns. Okay, well, I remember that this issue came up some time ago. I thought it was settled already, but maybe you could get back to us in regards to what Donald has mentioned about flyover by military, especially over residential areas. Okay,
I can do that.
okay.
Would you be able to repeat the information in regards to how we can submit input in regards to the FAA
Yeah.
concerns?
I think the best way is to just go to case.house.gov. That is the congressman's website. And then look under newsroom and then newsletters. It'll be the first one. It was on March 8th.
Other questions? Okay. Oh, yes, Loy.
Just expressing my personal opinion. Want to urge Congressman Ed Case's office to against building more telescope on top of Haleakala.
Okay. Anything else? Any other audience? How about the WebEx? Not? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, approval of minutes, Monday, January 12th. Are any corrections to the minutes? Okay, I can do shortcut. I understand. Any objections to the minutes as circulated? Seeing none, the minutes are approved as circulated. You like that, huh? Yeah, I heard I could do that real quick. Unfinished business. Action of sidewalks in Judge Street pursuant to city response. Who brought that up? You did, all right. Go ahead.
I think we should just cancel that because The reason was, they might have to buy property, from the owners and all that, and it's been going on for quite some time, so, I guess you have to walk in the mud if you go walk on Judge Street.
Thank you, Donald. I'll take it off. Under new business. Oh, yes. Yeah, go ahead.
Hello, Mr. Chairman. Bixby Hole, former neighborhood board, 14 member, community member, blah, blah, blah. Longtime resident,
We know who you are, Bixby.
longtime resident of Judd Street. That's why I'm here to get an answer about Judd Street, because I thought that was part of the Complete Streets project. No, not anymore? Okay, so, yeah, can we get an idea of what they're going to do? Because I live on Judd Street, right on Judd, okay? And they told us at first, hey, get ready, we're going to build a sidewalk. Then they said, oh, we're gonna throw in a bus. No problem, but there's no bus stops on Judd Street.
Well, my understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, we did broach it and they said it's too expensive. And as Donald said, and I've done condemnation for the city, it's expensive. You got to condemn everything along the side. But again, I can bring it. Anybody remember what Tyler said? Yes, no, maybe? It's a notes. Yeah. What does it say? The minutes. Read it what it said. Give it here.
I'm not on the email list anymore, that's why. While Member Cop was looking, I do want to add a little more to this, that there are like segments of the sidewalk going, so.
I did find the section in regards to the Judge Street sidewalks. So I'm reading verbatim. Board member Nita asked about funds previously stated by Councilmember Dos Santos Tam for Judge Street sidewalks. Ms. Mirza Zoa, sorry if I mispronounced that, will check on any funding references and report back.
No.
It's another one.
On that Digby, if you're gonna put a sidewalk, a concrete sidewalk, you also need drainage. So the thing is that, it's not something like you just can put it in. It has to be planned, and the expense on that is kind of high, because it's not only at the concrete sidewalk, it is also, you have to provide drainage. So that now the picture becomes way bigger than just, put a sidewalk. So
Thank
that
you,
was-
Member Nita, I'm aware.
Yeah.
But the problem is that we're getting the back and forth from the city. We're going to put it in, then we're not going to put it in. And then like I
No.
said, we're going to put in a bus, they put a bus in, there's no bus stops, right? So it's a straight no now.
No,
Okay.
on that Digby, the city said no. They don't want to, they're not going to put a sidewalk. That was their answer.
Okay, I found it. This is from January's notes. The City Department of Design and Construction response notes extensive constraints, utilities, large trees, historic rock walls, drainage canals, making continuous sidewalks challenging and likely a poor candidate for federal aid. The city may explore walkway segments in wider portions during future rehabilitation projects. Please refer future questions to Complete Streets.
Okay, so back to complete.
Okay.
streets.
Thank you, Bixby. Appreciate it.
Possibly the city. I'm going to direct my question to you. So if Edward, if you're still on, if not, might be something. Okay. My question is going to be in regards to which side of Judge Street is Edward referencing when, or does the city reference when it comes down to we're not able to, or the constraints fall under? Because I get one side, but the side with the cemetery, I could see some possibility. Even though I know that there's unimproved sidewalk across Liliha as you head more towards the ʻālewa side of Judd. Yes, that question is to Edward. Okay, thank you.
Okay, anything else?
Sure.
Yes, Lloyd.
All right, if I may give my 2 cents on this. I live on the Judd Street, so I'm familiar with that area, but I guess first off, there's no such thing as too difficult project for the city, because if they can tackle a big project like, well, this is Manini, even if they need condemnation, that's why they are professionals and they can do this. Number two, I think the most critical area that needs improvement is that bend. So, like where the old Judd Street transitioned to the new Judd Street, the stone wall side, you cannot move stone. It's very difficult to move stone walls. But then the other side, somebody can approach the landowners there. You're talking about maybe just 3 landowners, and maybe they're willing. Maybe like they're just waiting for the city to ask them, goes, oh yeah, I would love to, if city pay me for the right amount or the right composition, this would be a public good. They would rather, just have that sidewalk in front of their house too. So that's my 2 cents.
Okay, I'll tell you what, since there's still a concern about sidewalks and now drainage on Judd Street, what I'm gonna do is I'll leave it on the agenda. I'm gonna put it under Edward, our city representative. We did it for DeSantos. So is that okay? Guys? Is that okay, Lloyd? I'm gonna keep it on.
Yes.
All right.
Well, the question is, which side, the left side or the right side?
Hey, you guys can ask him when you get to that. With I
Because-
said both sides.
No, because I think on the left side, like he says, get the trees and all that, and the property goes right against the road. On the on the right side, it's, that's the one, the condemnation of the property. Mr. Ed Hasegawa has a property over there, and that's one of I think the reason is that they don't want to condemn somebody else's property just to make a sidewalk.
Okay, look, I'm gonna bring this to a head. I think we still have this as an issue, so I'll leave it on the agenda. And I'm going to entitle it Sidewalks and Drainage of Judge Street, and I'll put it under Edward. Let's see what he has to say. I don't care which side we're talking about, one or both. Okay? Is that okay, guys? All right, let's move on. New business. Discussion on, 2026 Canada Reform. We've had this before. I think it was at that church. I remember that. But the question we had it here too. All right. The question I have is, would you all like to have a candidate forum again? And it would probably be in July because that's a primary, right? Yeah, okay, in July. I'm up, discussion, any discussion? I'll entertain a motion that we do have a candidate forum at our July meeting, and then we can go through the parameters of, how we're going to set it up. So I'll entertain that motion if somebody would like to make that motion.
I so move.
Is there a second? Second. Moved by Christie, seconded by Donald, that Neighborhood Board 14 have a candidate forum for our July 2026 meeting. Discussion. Okay, ready for the question? Camila, we need a roll call? No need? Okay. All those in favor, raise your right hand.
Chair, I was just looking at the date. That would be the 13th of July. The ballots might have already mailed by then.
So what do you want to do?
So it might be better to have it in June,
June?
in the
Eh,
meeting in June instead of. the
Okay,
meeting in
well, and
July.
June is what? June, what date is that?
Would be June 8th is our meeting. The second Monday is June 8th.
Okay. All right. Is it okay with the move on then the second, June 8th, not July? All right. All in favor of that? Again, raise your right hand. Thank you. Those opposed? No opposition, motion's carried. Thank you very much. Darren, pay attention. You're gonna handle that. I want to be someplace else. I'm gonna be in China. All right, moving around. Thank you. I'm gonna ask. Since Darren is really handling this, going to be handled this. Maybe you could set up the parameters of regards to a suggestion for next meeting. You know, how long, what they can, whatever. Get them up there, get them on. Great. All right. Thank you very much, Darren. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Discussion supporting Neighborhood Board 31 Kailua resolution regarding investigation of state legislature accepting $35,000 in cash. I don't know if I read this, but first of all, let me just tell you, I don't know if this is really active because it may be moot because the Attorney General's office has already initiated an investigation in regards to this particular issue. So I don't know if this resolution is really necessary. Plus, I know that the Ethics Commission is also looking into the matter. So unless there's an objection, I'm just going to say I'm going to eliminate it from the agenda, which is already happening. Is that okay? All right. Thank you. Item number C, adoption resolution, construction of median on Olomia Street approaching Palama Settlement intersection. I think that's Loy's initiative. Loy?
Thank you, Chair. Aloha. This was brought up, I think, in January's meeting, and I'm inspired by Donald's effort to have that four-way stop sign that improved. It took decades, but it really improved our life, and I think all of us kind of thank him for that. And so that kind of lead me to want to propose and have this resolution just urging the state government to build a median U-turn. This is kind of like a connection from Olomea Street that's parallel connecting to Vineyard, approaching the Palama Street intersection. So by having a U-turn, it eliminates having to wait until a left turn only green light. And then while making that movement, slow down everybody else. And I think that will really significantly improve the traffic operation in that intersection. Last check, I think on average, 30,000 cars pass through that intersection alone in the east-west direction. So I think this is almost like a no-brainer. I think it's really achievable for very relatively budget-friendly construction costs. So I ask fellow members to support this resolution.
Thank you very much for your initiative, Lloyd. And for some of us who I'm trying to think, where is this? Give us you're coming from where, going where?
It's by Palama Settlement on Vineyard.
Llama Settlement on Vineyard, I got that.
Under the freeway,
Under the freeway.
big intersection. The gas station is there.
Oh, yeah. Am I going in every direction on Vineyard?
Townbound.
Oh, Townbound.
Yes.
Townbound.
Oh, okay.
You just came off the freeway
Yes,
and you're going towards the corner,
yes.
right? And you wait there to take a left-hand turn.
Which is,
And then
if you
you're
do
on-
a left turn, you're going to be passing Palama Settlement on the right.
Correct, correct.
That's,
But then some people aren't coming off the freeway, they're just going down that little part of Olomea Street.
Oh.
And they want to get on the freeway going the other way.
oh, make
So
it-
instead of going to the corner and taking a left,
yeah.
he wants to have the little U-turn like they have in Kahala.
Okay. Does everybody know where this is? Yeah, I mean, I think I'm the only guy, I guess so. All right. Everybody knows what we're talking about, right? All right. Everybody should have a copy of the resolution.
Yeah.
Anybody does not have?
Comments.
Wait. Okay, the resolution reads, requesting the state of Hawaii Department of Transportation to design and construct the median U-turn for eastbound meaning what? Ever, right? motorists on Olomia Street, approach to Palama Street intersection. That's the resolution. I'll entertain a motion first to adopt this approve this resolution.
Discussion.
No, let me get the motion first. If there's a motion, yes. Moved by Loy, is there a second? Seconded by Brandon. Okay, now discussion. Go ahead, Donald.
The road is outside our district. Our district ends at School Street. And as far as I'm concerned, we're not supposed to propose something out of our district. The neighborhood board guy over there, I want his comments because the question is, it is out of our district. If you, Lloyd, if you want, you should go to neighborhood board 15 and under their agenda, go and put that so-called resolution to them and let them go and make the resolution.
That's a very good question, because I was going to ask the same question. I'm not going to embarrass Camellia. Can we or can we not? Or should we not?
Hello, Chair.
Oh, you're going to answer? Oh, you got an answer.
I was waiting for him to stay here.
He was waiting for your question.
Thank you, Chair. Well, what I would say is that boards do pass resolutions, like we pass resolutions to Red Hill. It's not in our district. So if you're, it's close enough that if you're really passionate about it, pass the resolution and then just pass it to, Board 15 in this case. So yes, I think almost anything on Oahu, you can do. I mean, now they may question and say, why in the world are you doing this? It's not in your district, but it's great input, and it may actually push them to do it themselves. So anyway, that would be my input. Thank you.
Well, the point is that if he brings it up to the board and his comments under citizens' concern, and let them do the so-called agree or disagree with his resolution. Because as far as I'm concerned, why do we have boundaries?
Well,
if you're gonna say that means we don't have boundaries. And if that's the case, we don't need 32 neighborhood board.
But we have 33.
Okay, 33.
But
okay, I mean,
sorry, just to be technical. But no, I would say it's just a matter of expressing the desires of your community. I'm not saying you should pass this. I'm not, opining on that at all. I'm just saying that I would not say it's inappropriate. I would say it's appropriate, especially since it's so close to your community. It affects your residents. So I think it would be appropriate to consider this. Now, whether you want to pass or not, it's up to you.
Okay,
Thank you.
Pat, let me just ask this question from one attorney to another. Okay. Can we pass this resolution even though it may be outside of our boundary?
Yes. I
Okay,
see
that's
no
all I want to
reason
know.
not to.
Now, more discussion, yes.
I snaked it from Carol. Anyways, my point is that I see Don's point in that the reason we have boundaries, this is my understanding of it. I've been on the board for way shorter time than you two anyways. But the way I see it, in regards to the boundaries point, we have boundaries because if we decide to cross them, then essentially we're telling other boards how to govern their neighborhoods, which I understand would be wrong, which I understand why the boundary rule is in place. Although I get the precedent set by COVID where we passed resolutions outside of our district that affect the whole state. I get that point too. But my feelings about this resolution specifically, I don't have it in front of me. But I don't personally, and I drive down this road every day because I have to get there. I work in town. I don't see this helping because even though you're going to have that U-turn median, people still have to stop in that left lane. And if there's cars coming, which way is that? Westbound from Vineyard, and they're still going on the freeway, the folks trying to do that U-turn to get on the freeway still have to wait for those folks. And that's still going to create a backlog. And that backlog is going to end up before what the backlog is right now. So I'm voting nay on this one. Sorry.
Okay, anybody want to speak in favor of it besides Loy? Anybody else want to speak against the motion?
Chair,
Sure.
can I comment on this?
Senator.
Yes, Senator.
Hi,
Go
this
ahead.
happens to be in my district. It happened to have come up at another meeting that I had with one of my community associations, and I just briefly touched upon it, didn't go into details with DTS. But I think Chance is correct, because this lane, they would first of all have to excavate and go underneath the overpass to make that U-turn, which is going to be very, very costly, and the cost benefits. But that lane is not that long, and so if it's short, if you have 4 cars that's waiting to turn left and not wanting to go through, they're going to block that left turn U-turn already. But if, say, they're in that left turn and all the traffic's going straight, and they're going towards the west, and you're waiting in the left turn lane, then, and you're at that turn, you can't go anyway until that traffic slows down. So that's going to back up other traffic in the back. So either way, there are concerns that was raised, that would be a beneficial to the amount of money that it's going to cost to what it might solve, or it may have unintended consequences.
Thank you for your comments, Senator. I'm going to ask anybody from the audience have any comments? Okay. Any more discussion from the board?
Chairman?
Oh, Carl.
Yeah, I have a little bit of exposure to transportation planning, and I talked to one of the transportation planners about this. It's appealing idea, but there may again be unintended consequences. Do you know if there has been a study done previously and what the results were of the study?
I'm familiar that there were previous studies done. So I would urge those having doubt just to go down to that intersection and observe it for, a good period of time, not just passing through. Because when you come to like traffic, and yes, there may be other consequences, but it's proven to work in the other DOT facility and also in university approach. And in essence, to make that happen, all you really got to do is just take away the curb and add additional signage. We're really actually not building anything. So, and if it doesn't work, all you got to do is just barricade it up again, and that's an easy fix. And then you just revert back to the original.
Yeah, it's a little more complicated in terms of the planning and the design.
So wait,
There are all
my-
sorts of-
if I may just-
people, let Lloyd finish.
Thank you. So if I may add to, I guess, respond to Donald's point about physically is outside our district. So reminder, Liliha Library technically is out of our district too, but yet we have.
Lloyd, you don't have to worry about that.
Okay, thank
We
you.
can do that. Okay, it can be done.
But
Now the question is, should we do it?
the highway, the entry to get on H1 from that location, I think a lot of our residents, and even Chance just said it himself, he uses it almost every day. So I think it's worthwhile a try.
Okay.
So
Anybody else want to talk against the motion?
I really think we should say, if we're going ahead with this, that there should be another study, because the traffic has changed. And actually, this intersection has been identified as one of the major high-risk intersections for pedestrians, bikers, and cars, and which is why it has the red light camera and all of that. The unintended consequences may be greater than the benefit. So I really think there should be a study.
Okay, anybody else want to speak in favor of it? Anybody want to speak against it? Ready for the question? We do a roll call, okay? You either say aye or nay. Approving the resolution.
The board to approve the
The
resolution.
chair will be last.
So Cantrell, Christian, Higa, Kapu, Cool, Okay. McPherson. Marco Y is not here. Mitsuda. Naawa Ota. Nita. Yamamoto. Valdez is not here. Chair Fung.
I'll vote day.
So 3 ayes. 8 no, 0 abstentions. The motion does not pass.
The motion does not pass. It is lost. But I want to thank Loy for bringing it up, and it can be brought up again if you want. No problem. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Although obviously disappointing, but I'd like to thank the rest of the board for having a civilized discussion about it. I guess each time we drive past that, we can reflect on our decision here today. So, but I can say that I tried.
And I want to thank the board for being very civil about this. All right, so thank you very much for your input.
Chair, can I make one comment?
That's why we're here, right? We have different opinions.
Can I say one thing?
Yes, Brendan.
Laura, I think that perhaps maybe we can bring up the reso again, except maybe ask for the traffic safety study in that area to see what the best outcome is. And if the traffic safety study says that the best outcome is the U-turn, then, your ideas stand. So maybe we can revisit the reso at the next meeting.
How about this as a suggestion, because there may be, there look some individual doubts. Laura, would you drop something up in regards to, for the next good meeting that we have, maybe do a traffic study and specifically doing what? Not now, but for the next meeting. Send it to me and I'll put it on the agenda. Okay?
Yes, sure.
All right, thank you.
I have a question. Lloyd, why don't you go to Neighborhood Board 15 and present this resolution to them and let them decide on their side if the resolution is good or bad?
We can do that without even having we
because-
can do it in addition to your traffic study. You want to do that, Loy?
I like to follow your advice and just do, but I can see there's still possibility that this might not go through. So I'd like to, maybe if other people want to champion that, I think, but I drive that intersection, so I feel that it's my responsibility to kind of speak up and try to make better. That's why we participate.
So why don't you take care of the issue about getting a
It's
traffic?
the same
study?
reason why we have on-pole representative that why, if we go to on-pole, we're talking about whole regional issue of Oahu. So why do we even send out? Shouldn't we just concern about
All
our
right.
very district? So it's the very principle that I believe that, if we can make our neighborhood better and for our people who lives in this area and use that intersection, on a very prevalent basis. And I think we have it's our kuleana to kind of try to make it better.
So Loy, why don't you, take the initiative and draft something for me if you want. I can put it on the agenda in regards to a traffic study, exactly the issue. And, okay.
May I ask, I guess, when we say traffic study, I mean, who do we want to study this?
DOT.
Okay, but who in DOT?
Don't worry
They-
about
if
it.
they
They'll
already studied-
find a purpose. We'll give it to Edward. Yes, you want to say something?
Quick comment. I'm actually on neighborhood board 15 and I can take it to them. That meeting.
Okay, all right. Okay, that was the next issue is, do you want to send this to neighborhood board? If you do, as suggested by Donald, we could either do it by, unless there any objection, we could send it, or you want to do it by motion? Yes, Christie.
I'm in favor of doing a study, having a resolution to do a study. And then if the study shows that it is a viable option, then maybe we can decide to bring it to the neighborhood board.
Well,
15.
Okay, I'm going to preempt you over there. I already asked Lloyd to draft up
Yeah.
a motion so we can have a traffic study in regards to this issue. But that's separate from the recommendation by Don saying that we should send this resolution over to Neighborhood Board 15. Yes. Okay, got it.
Chair,
Yes.
this is Senator Kim. I
Yes.
can make it very simple. I will contact Ed Sniffen and I will request for him to look at this area and give a written response.
Terrific. Thank you very much, Senator.
Yeah.
Mahalo,
I
Senator.
did talk to him
Yes.
earlier, as I said, I didn't get anything in writing, but I will ask him for something in writing.
Do you need a copy of the resolution or do you have a copy?
Oh, you can send that to me, but I know exactly what,
How about
I
us?
drive there
Thank you.
every day as well, so.
Amelia, can you send her a copy of the resolution? Huh? Oh, we'll give it to you to give it to her. Okay, thank
Yeah,
you.
in
Thank
fact,
you,
I'm
Senator.
meeting with him
Now,
next
the
week,
next,
so.
the next issue, is a recommendation by Donald that we send this over to neighborhood board number 15. I'll entertain a motion to that effect. Unless you want to wait. Want to wait? All right. Fine, we'll move on then. We're going to wait. All right, anything else more with this particular resolution? So, just as a summary, we're going to do a traffic study. At least our senator is going to initiate a traffic study with DOT, and then we'll see what happens after that. Then we can move on. Is that okay with everybody? Okay, Lloyd, you got it? All right, let's move. I just got word we got to get out of here pretty soon. All right, item number D. For all of those of you who are living in the Pu'unui area, your Pu'unui Community Park can now have dogs on leashes, period. Okay, that's it. Just clean up after yourself, okay? Because we have one up in Naupoil Park and it chases owners who have dogs and they don't clean up after them. But anyway, you can have dogs in the
Question.
Pu'unui Community Park.
Question.
Yes.
You know this thing about the dog leash on so-called Punui Park?
Yes.
You know what is the requirement for that now? It's being expanded. You need to bring water to wipe up the residue.
Oh.
Yes. And the thing we talked about was just picking up the so-called stew. So now the question is, this thing is now coming to be a bigger issue because now you have to bring water to spray the area and you have to wipe it.
Was that in the notice that was?
Yes.
It was?
Yes. It was in the newspaper.
Oh, okay. Now you know.
So the question is, before it was just, pick up the so-called stew from the dog. But now it's getting to be more intense. And the question is, does the owner of the dog gonna follow the resolution? Because
I'll leave it up to the owner and also the city to enforce. But if that's a requirement, and so all of those you are going to use the Pu'unui Community Park, just remember, bring your dog and bring the water. It's clean up. Okay, I'm going to move on. Anything else? All right, Malahia here. How about St. Francis? Lanakila.
So Lanakila Multipurpose Senior Center is starting spring registration for classes. The registration will start on the 16th of this month. First Hawaiian Bank has brought in volunteers over the last couple of months, and they've finished painting the senior center. And so thank you to all those who are participating. And Kapili Roofing redid all the gutters. So yeah, it's been very nice to have people coming and helping. And I just wanted to give if you are a senior, go get involved. Anyone 60 and older can be a member. And I wanted to give a little bit of a list of, there are regular classes. They have over 85 classes every week. But these are some of the special things that have come up over the last, say, 3 weeks. There's going to be a Pikaki propagation class, having lunch at Iolani Palace with the Royal Hawaiian Band playing, learning how to use Smart 911, having a presentation on owner's real property tax and how to navigate that, a class on Apple technology, a tour of the Shangri-La Museum, a wellness clinic, a clinic on class on osteoporosis and exercise, a class called 7 Daily Habits to Help Seniors Thrive, a dementia resources available class, and a Kupuna ID class. So it's very varied besides just the regular culture classes and all of the classes learning different things. There are many, many things available. So if you are in the neighborhood and 60 or older, take advantage.
Thank you very much, Carol. Very worthwhile, an organization, really helps the senior citizens. All right, let's see. Are there any other nonprofit organizations? No? Just a few announcements. Here we go. Sitting County Honolulu Hawaii Food Bank. Donated canned goods. Was this for that's the next meeting. Okay, next meeting. And let's see, our next meeting is going to be Monday, April 13th, same time, same station. Anybody else have anything for the good of the organization that we brought up? If not, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. Moved by Brandon, seconded by Darren. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Those opposed? Motion's carried. Please help us put back the tables. And I want to thank all of those who have joined us for our meeting today. If we're in the audience. Have a great day and great evening, everybody.